All right, let's get started with the Industrial Revolution. Our essential question: how did the Industrial Revolution change England and then the rest of Europe? So the roots of the Industrial Revolution spurred economic growth in Europe, brought about the age of exploration. We had the price revolution, a rise in capitalism, increase in the use of surplus money for investment ventures to make profits. The scientific revolution produced a wave of new mechanical inventions, and more population growth meant that there was larger markets out there to buy stuff and more labor for the large factories. Now, the cottage industry. The cottage industry was a rural industry, was a major pillar of Europe's growing economy in the 18th century. Early industrial production was a put-out, so the countryside was a putting-out system. The cottage industry was essentially a family enterprise. Families would spin thread at home to make textiles and make extra income. The cottage industry flourished in England. It was very popular. By 1500, half of England textiles were produced in the countryside, and by 1700, that was even more. The putting out or cottage system eventually spread to the rest of Europe. Now, the proto-industrial technology, you had things such as the flying shuttle, the spinning jenny, the water frame, and the spinning mule. All of those things revolved around the textile industry. And when we say proto-industrial, that was before the steam engine. Now, England was the first to industrialize. They were an island. They were isolated from mainland wars, especially the Napoleonic Wars. They had a good supply of coal and iron, and many waterways, and they also increased the British Navy to help their shipping across the seas. The agricultural revolution, the enclosure movement, where they started to enclose land and increase production of sheep, forced many off of the land, but then it supplied the cities and towns with labor. Fewer farmers could feed many more people, so the enclosure movement helped in both ways with agriculture and growing and producing crops, and with livestock. Other reasons for the England to industrialize first: large supply of capital. You had the first federal national bank, the Bank of England. The class of highly motivated technological people who wanted to make money. You had colonial empire, provided raw materials, and then the role of the government was very limited, and it was stable. You know, in Europe you had, Napoleon, you had wars, Germany wasn't even a country yet, but England was very stable. Unlike most of Europe, laws were passed in favor of big business. Now, the growing textile demand, the demand for textiles then went from the cottage industry to the factory system. The steam engine, metallurgical industries. Britain's empire produces half of the world's cotton. Now, the steam engine and coal, the first steam engine was used to pump water from mines, but from there, James Watt in 1769 patented the first steam engine. Steam was used in manufacturing and transportation. In 1807, Fulton created the first steamboat. In 1825, Stephenson created a railway locomotive. First railway was the heart of industrial England. It was created for the Industrial Revolution, and then grew from there to be, passengers and whatnot. Growing regional and national markets, as well as a growing urban working class. Now, Great Britain grows. 1850. Great Britain produces 2/3 of the world's coal. Great Britain produces more than half of the world's iron. Great Britain produces more than half of the world's cotton clothing. Gross national product between 1801 and 1850 in England and Great Britain rose 350%, and the per capita income increased 100%. The economy increased faster than the population, and there was always a need for labor. Now, continental Europe in 1815, you had the Napoleonic Wars, hindered industrial growth. All countries were behind England. Industrialization differed in each country. You had the likes of Belgium, Holland, France, and the United States starting to get Industrial Revolution going in 1820. Germany, Austria, Italy in 1850. Eastern Europe and Russia, where they were they were the ones that were the most postponed, 1880s to 1890. Now, Britain tried to retain a monopoly on this technology. They actually had laws. People couldn't leave the country with technology or patents. to try to start their own businesses on outside of Great Britain, but that was unsuccessful. You know, people would sneak stuff out. National banks in Germany and France encourage investment in big business, and especially in Germany, in the Rhine River Valley, they started to increase their technology, and when they got things going in a big way. All right, remember, history's no mystery. Take good notes.